quiet. Do you find that your exhibitors are less than attentive or even interested when you try to tell them about your latest offerings and the benefits of exhibiting in your trade show? Well, maybe it's because you're focusing on what you think is important instead of on what they think is important. The world of trade shows has been turned upside down by the economy over the past few years, and the media has been screaming the important fact that exhibitors want and need some type of ROI or return on investment from their trade show exhibiting expense. And unless you and your team have been working with blinders on for the past few years, you know that exhibitors are dropping out of shows like flies because they can't measure value. And without exhibitors, it may be just a matter of time before the inevitable happens to your show too. And I'm sure you will agree that it's a lot easier to keep exhibitors in your show than it is to get them back once they drop out. Hi, my name is Erschik. Before I tell you about who I am and what I do to help show organizers like you retain their existing exhibitors and acquire new ones, did you know that according to CEIR, that's the Center for Exhibition Industry Research, trade shows are being measured by upper management in companies today based on results, not on activity. And by results, I mean sales results. Let's face it, after the show, exhibiting company management doesn't care about the display or show services. They want to know if anything was sold as a result of the show from the leads that were generated. In fact, did you also know that according to CEIR, sales lead generation is the #1 objective of exhibitors, and that lead follow-up after a show is their #1 problem? Quite a paradox, isn't it? Especially when research also shows that more than 70% of leads go uncontacted after the show, and 43% of those not contacted buy what they inquired about within 13 months. So think about all that. Your exhibitors are exhibiting in your show to generate leads that they admit they can't follow up, while almost 50% of their selling opportunities are falling through the cracks because of the poor follow-up. Well, like it or not, it's up to you, the show organizer, to change exhibitor perception of your show from what's in it for you to what's in it for them, by taking on the responsibility of educating them in the best practices of sales lead response management to assure that 100% of their leads get followed up after your show, because the sales they need to offset the cost of their show are in the leads that are presently not getting followed up. Or simply stated, education is proving to be the key differentiating factor in business today. So if you empathize with your exhibitor's problem of lead follow-up, provide them with an educational solution, they'll stay on your show. And that's exactly what I help you do in the form of an experiential sales lead follow-up seminar that teaches your exhibitors a do-it-yourself process that they can implement and assure that 100% of their leads get followed up within 30 days of your show, so they can convert their leads to sales and the sales to measurable ROI. There is no hardware or software for your exhibitors to buy to be successful with what I teach them, and this has nothing to do with registration or lead retrieval. I simply teach them an industry-proven process. Now, I know you can say that lead follow-up after the show is their problem and something they should learn to do on their own. And you used to be right. But clearly, they are not learning on their own, and no one in their company is teaching them. So consider the inevitable if you decide not to educate them. Now, the next question is, why should you consider me to help you educate your exhibitors? Well, in my previous life, I was an exhibitor and exhibited in more than 100 trade shows. And I actually lived the poor lead follow-up problem and its effect on ROI and the trade show budget. But in 1985, I solved the lead follow-up problem with a homegrown process solution and in 1986 built a national service organization around that solution that American Airlines named one of the most innovative companies in the country. I recently sold my company to one of its customers, and today I teach exhibitors how to solve the lead follow-up problem the way I did. I'm a featured speaker and presenter at the Exhibitor Show in Las Vegas and have been for 15 years. And one of the country's largest trade shows has had me help them educate their exhibitors since 1988. And I have been working under the radar to help a few other show organizers while I owned my service business. But now that I'm no longer in the service business, I'm looking for a few more show organizers to work with, and maybe one of them is you. You certainly don't have to take my word that my education seminar works. I'd be happy to send you copies of letters that my seminar attendees sent to their show organizers after they learned the process I teach. And I'd also be happy to send you copies of letters that show organizers like you sent me after they saw the impact my seminar had on their exhibitors. I already provide a workshop to salespeople and trade show booth staff in individual companies all over the country. And I provide a seminar presentation directly to the exhibitors of a few organizers of trade shows like yours. So if you're a progressive and concerned trade show organizer, together we can teach your exhibitors how to get 100% lead follow-up after your show to generate the ROI they need to prove that trade shows don't cost, they pay. Call me direct at the number listed here, Google my name, or reference my website, rerschik.com, for more information. Be sure to mention the 50% fee reduction opportunity if we have not yet worked together, or if you are a nonprofit organization. I'd like to thank you for watching and for your consideration.